us, Master. What are the Jataka tales?
The Jataka tales are stories about the earlier lives of the Buddha. Many are in the form of animal fables.
Animal fables?
Yes, they describe 550 previous lives of the Buddha before his birth as Siddhartha Gautama, the prince of the Sakaya clan.
What happened to the Buddha after?
In Bodh Gaya, he attained complete enlightenment that released him from any future rebirth.
So, before being a prince, Buddha was an animal?
In his 550 previous lives, the Buddha had existed in a multitude of animal and human forms. In each life, his noble and compassionate deeds moved him higher towards his final greatness. The Jataka tales chronicle these lives. These stories deal with compassion, loving kindness, tolerance, generosity, loyalty, avoiding trickery, responsibility, and more.
All nice things.
Oh yes, but not only. These stories teach us how to live together harmoniously, but they also teach us about the evil of ingratitude, greed, pride, cruelty towards animals or humans, the danger of false praise or the risk of foolishness, and poor decisions sometimes leading to death.
Oh, that is scary. Please, Master, tell us one story.
Do you have a favorite animal?
I love elephants.
In that case, here is the tale of the elephant and her mother. Long ago, deep in the forest, north of Varanasi in India, there lived a great elephant. She had left the herd she was leading to take care of her old blind mother. Every day she would bring fruits and leaves to her mother and sprinkle her with water. The old mother could not feed herself and was grateful for her daughter's loving care. One day, as she was searching for food, the daughter encountered a forester. He was crying. Oh, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? Where should I go? And now a huge elephant. Even worse. Somebody help me. Help! Do not be afraid, said the elephant. I will not hurt you. Were you asking for help? Maybe I can help you. You can help me? Why not? Replied the elephant. Well, I'm totally lost, said the man. In fact, I've been lost for several days and have not eaten since I left home. And I'm starving. And surely I will die if I do not find my way home soon. Well, said the elephant, I can definitely help you. Climb on my back. I will bring you to a tree where you can grab some fruits. Then I will put you back on the road which leads to Varanasi. It is not so far from here. Oh, kind one, exclaimed the man. The gods definitely placed you on my way. And he climbed onto the back of the elephant. "This is the road to Varanasi," said the elephant. "Now it is time to say goodbye. You should be fine and safe in your home by tonight." "You are a very kind and noble elephant," said the man. "You saved my life. I cannot thank you enough. I will be always grateful to have met you." What a magnificent and smart animal, the man thought. In fact, I could make a lot of money if I was selling it to the king. The king's favorite elephant recently died, and this elephant is far greater. If I were to bring his men to capture this one, the king himself would richly reward me. And so the greedy man took the news of the great elephant to the king's palace. 2 days later, the man was back in the forest. This time, he was accompanied by a group of guards and hunters sent by the king. The king had paid him a large sum of money to bring back the elephant alive. The group of hunters found the elephant drinking in a refreshing pond. She saw them coming with their snares to capture her. She could charge and kill them all, but she was not a violent elephant and let them approach. The forester was hiding behind a bush, ashamed of what he was doing. The elephant saw him and thought, "This is how he thanks me for saving his life." The hunters captured the poor elephant to bring her back to the royal stables. There she would be washed and adorned before being presented to the king. As she was leaving the jungle with a group of men, the elephant was deeply concerned about her poor blind mother. What would happen to her if she was not coming back tonight to feed her? The following day in the royal stables, the finest food was presented to the elephant, who has been washed and adorned. But she would not touch anything. The king was coming to see her. "Where is that marvelous elephant the men caught yesterday? Is she well treated and welcome as I heard she should be?" The king saw she was not eating and said, "Dear great one, you're indeed a splendid animal, and I heard you're a kind one too. You're welcome here, and we will treat you with the best food. Won't you eat?" But the elephant replied, "I appreciate your kindness, but now my blind mother is starving in the forest because I am not there to bring food to her. I too will starve, even with these delicacies before me. I can take no food while she has none." The king was a good man and was touched by the elephant's words. "You are a truly kind animal," he said, "and I'm going to set you free. Go back to your mother and keep taking care of her. You are welcome here any time. Come back to visit us, and I promise no harm will ever be done to you." And the king gave the order to set the elephant free. Free at last, the elephant rushed back to the forest to feed her mother. She could not wait to be reunited with her. As she was rushing, she thought, "That good king, may he live long and his kingdom prosper."
That was a beautiful story, and it has a happy ending.
Did you like the elephant?
She was so good to take care of the old blind mother. I suppose this is what we all should do, taking care of the elderly. But I did not like the forester. What he did was mean. The elephant should have punished him.
Do you think it was in her nature to take revenge?
Oh no, she was too good for that.
And the king?
He was really nice. Even if he had the elephant captured for him, he set her free at the end. In fact, he did not want to hurt her. I felt kind of sorry for him that he could not keep her, but I guess the lesson is that we should not keep animals imprisoned like this, even if we treat them well. Did the king ever get another elephant?
As a matter of fact, he did get another elephant. And I'm going to tell you what happened to this one. This story is called The Elephant and the Thieves.
Thieves? Is it a scary story?
You'll see. As I said, the king had a new elephant. She was a young and sweet female. Her name was Damsel, which means a young unmarried noble girl. She was indeed of noble descent, born in the royal stable from a purebred mother, the best you could find in the north of India. Because of her noble ancestry, everyone agreed she would be the best elephant in terms of behavior. Damsel was by all means very sweet and good to all her fellow elephants and kind to her keepers too. She seemed very happy to live in the royal stables where the food was delicious and the keepers very gentle towards the animals under their care. Every night she fell asleep happily with the reassurance that food and treats would be there the next morning. But one night, all that started to change. A group of thieves gathered in the little room adjoining Damsel's stall. They were cursing, laughing, and plotting their evil deed. Damsel could hear every word they said as they talked late into the night. first night, damsel did not sleep well. The following morning she was tired and did not get up and did not eat. Even when the keeper brought her a big plate with her favorite treats, she did not move. The keeper thought she had had a bad night, but would soon recover. But at night, it all began again. And so it went for several weeks, the thieves meeting every night, damsel deprived of sleep and hearing awful conversations. After several weeks of these agitated nights, the young damsel began to act aggressively towards the other elephants, trumpeting loudly and pushing both keepers and trainers. She even started to rear up and stomp about. The keepers and trainers were so concerned that they reported to the king. The king did not know what exactly to do with her. Did she feel she was being held captive? Should he send her into the jungle? Abandon her in the wild where she may or may not belong? It would be cruel to do this, as she had never lived in the wild. After all, she was born in the stables and should not feel imprisoned. The king sought the advice of his best counselor. That night, the keepers managed to send her back to her stall. Later that night, one of the guards discovered the thieves in the room next to the stables and chased them from the palace grounds. The following morning, the king came with his finest advisor to take a decision about damsel. The guard reported what had happened in the little room the night before. The advisor then said, "Your Majesty, I believe I know what is wrong with damsel." "Really?" asked the king. "I believe that the harsh, crude words and rough behavior have badly influenced the sweet and gentle damsel," answered the advisor. "She has adopted the thieves' behavior. That is why she has started to act violently. "But what can be done?" exclaimed the king. "I have a plan," answered the advisor. "Let me gather a group of good men, sages and religious scholars. We will have them meet nightly in the little room where the thieves were meeting, and you will see." That same night, and the ones following, the group of wise and educated men took their seats in the small adjacent room and began their long discussion. Every night, for 3 weeks, they gathered and spoke of nothing but kindness and compassion, forgiveness and duty. Their discussions were interrupted only by the rising sun. Night after night, little by little, Damsel returned to her previous goodness. She regained her appetite and enjoyed again being with her trainers. After 3 weeks, the king and the advisor came to visit her in the stall. When the keeper told them the good news, the king was overjoyed and thanked the advisor. "Do not thank me, your majesty," the advisor said. "All this is the result of the good words spoken by a group of wise men. They have deeply influenced Damsel and helped her return to being a sweet and gentle elephant again." Remember, your majesty, that the company we keep shapes who we are. "I will try to remember this lesson," said the king.
I thought it was going to be a scary story. It was not scary at all.
What did you think of this lesson?
It is hard to believe that such a noble and good elephant could become so nasty just because she heard the thieves speaking.
But she did. And in reverse, she did get back to her good behavior after hearing kind and elevated conversations.
Yes, that's right, but still, does that mean we need to pay attention to whom we spend our time with?
Indeed. Let me tell you another story that explores the same theme. The story happened in the hills south of Bodh Gaya. You remember? Bodh Gaya is where the Buddha attained enlightenment under the Bodhi tree. It is the most holy place for us Buddhists.
Where is Bodh Gaya?
It is in the northeast of India.
Is there any elephants in the story?
No elephant. This time it's about birds.
I love birds too. What is the title of the story?
It is called The Parrot Brothers. Two parrot chicks were hatched in a low nest. The mother fed both the same food all day long, and they soon became stronger. They spent the first days of life close to each other in the warm nest. One morning, as the mother parrot was out gathering food for her chicks, a boy from a nearby village spotted the nest. He was hunting for birds to catch alive. It was market day, and the boy had planned to sell. At the market, the boy separated the birds. He gave the blue bird to a Buddhist monk for free for his community of holy men. He sold the green one to a band of thieves for a very good price. Thus, the two brother birds were raised in very different circumstances. They grew up to become young adults without ever seeing one another. One day, a prince, hunting in the forest, became lost. Hungry and forlorn, he sat under the tree to rest and fell asleep. The green parrot, raised by the band of robbers, came upon the prince. He sat on a branch above and thought gleefully, "Look at his rich clothes and that fat purse. I will hurry back to camp and bring my bandit friends to take everything he has." And off he flew back to the robbers' camp. Just then, the blue parrot, the one raised in the community of monks, passed by and saw the prince asleep. He flew down to him and said, "Wake up! Wake up! Oh dear sir, this is a dangerous forest. It is full of wild animals, and thieves live not far from here. You could be robbed." "Kind parrot," said the prince, "I am certainly lost and would be most grateful for any help you might give." "With pleasure. I can guide you out of the jungle and put you back on the road to the city," the parrot offered. "Just follow me." Flying just above the ground, the parrot led the prince out of danger. When they reached the outskirts of the forest, the prince thanked him. "Dear parrot, you are truly a good animal. You saved my life and deserve a reward in measure of your kindness." And with that, the prince pulled out a large golden coin from his purse and put it in the parrot's beak, and added, "Put it to Meanwhile, the other parrot guided the band of thieves to where the prince had been sleeping. When they got to the tree, the prince had already left, guided by the blue parrot. "So, where is that very rich prince you told us about?" growled the chief of the thieves. He was here. I saw him dressed in fine clothes, I promise," said the parrot with a trembling voice. "Sure," snarled the thief, "and he disappeared. Or maybe you're just making fun of us, and there never ever was a prince here." And furiously he brandished a long stick with which he beat the parrot. "You wasted our time. You're going to pay for this." And he lunged at the parrot. But the pitiful bird flew away, followed by the thieves running beneath the tree. And this is how two parrots from the same mother were made very different by the company they kept.
I feel bad for the green parrot.
Don't worry, I don't think the thieves ever caught him.
After all, it was not his fault. He was raised by thieves.
Yes, but he had the choice to leave. He was free to fly. He didn't have to report about the prince.
That is true. The bad influence of the thieves must have been very strong.
As the good influence of the holy men must have been strong too. Look at the other bird doing good deeds.
Yes, and he was rewarded.
He was certainly rewarded. But do you think he helped the prince to get a reward?
No. In fact, I think he did not know he would have a reward. Plus, he gave his reward to the temple.
Yes, and got another reward for doing it. He got extra breakfast. You see, good deeds are always rewarded.
And what about the boy who hunts the parrots at the beginning? It's so mean.
I have another story with a hunter, a nice hunter.
A nice hunter? Really?
You will see. And since you like birds, there is a beautiful bird in the story.
Oh yes? What kind of bird? What is the story?
It is called The Golden Peacock and the Hunter. Long ago, not far from Agra in northern India, a wild peahen hatched a most unusual chick. Its color was that of burnished gold. As the young peacock grew, the color deepened and became even richer. He was a vision of pure beauty. One day, the peacock caught sight of his own reflection in the pond. "Oh my," he thought, "it is not good to be so beautiful. Certainly men will wish to capture me for my golden feathers. I'd better leave and hide away from men." And he left in search of a most remote place where men could not find him. Peacock walked for several days. He finally reached a valley in the foothills of the Himalaya mountains. This is a perfect place, he thought. Remote and far enough from all men, a lake for water, a banyan tree in which to nest, some roots in the earth for food, and even lotus flowers for surrounding beauty. He instantly perched himself up, well hidden among the many branches of the tree. The peacock lived happily and quietly for several weeks. But then one day, a hunter discovered the hidden valley of the peacock. He caught a glimpse of the golden bird and could not believe his eyes. But then, as quickly as the bird appeared, he vanished. The man hunted and hunted, but could not find the peacock. After several hours, he still had not seen the peacock, and began to think he might have dreamt it. He left and went home. He would ask his son, who was a better hunter, to come back to catch the peacock. The following day, the peacock was drinking at the pond when the son of the hunter arrived in the valley. He saw the peacock and tried to kill him with an arrow. But the peacock was fast and flew away just in time. The hunter did as his father did, hunting and waiting for the peacock to return. Each time the bird came back to drink, the hunter, hiding in the lower part of the tree, tried to kill him by shooting arrows. But each time the bird saw him and flew away. After 3 times, the peacock did not come back. The wise bird was very patient and stayed hidden the entire day. When night came, the young hunter told himself, I shouldn't kill that bird after all. He's a beautiful animal, and I certainly would get more money if I could catch him alive. I have an idea. And he left to return the following morning. At dawn, the young hunter came back with a female peacock. He had chosen the most beautiful peacock he could find in the market. He staked her to the ground under the banyan tree, where he suspected the peacock was nesting. Then he carefully set snares all around her. He hid between the rocks and waited for the sun to go up. He was sure the peacock was going to be drawn to the lovely peahen. When the sun was high, the peacock finally got down from his nest up in the branches and landed next to the beautiful female. And hop! A snare caught his leg, and the peacock was swept upside down, hanging by his foot. For the first time, the young hunter could look closely at the peacock. What a beautiful bird! This is beyond belief. His size, his golden color, his tail. I've never seen something like this before. Even his calm composure is that of royalty. Suddenly, a big change took place in the heart of the hunter, and he felt what a terrible injustice it would be to take the bird out of his glorious valley and sell him as a captive. He decided to free the animal, and he approached with his knife to cut the rope. Then, to his surprise, the bird talked to him with a soft voice. Do not kill me. I will be much more valuable alive than dead. The young hunter gently replied, I am not going to kill you. I am going to free you. The bird was surprised and asked, After all these hours of trying to catch me, you finally caught me, And now you want to free me? But why? Because I have seen how cruel it would be to keep a bird as remarkable as you in captivity, said the hunter, and he gently released him from the snare. The peacock then asked, "If it is unjust to take my freedom, what of all the other birds who may be less beautiful? Is it just to place them in cages?" "No," answered the young man, "it is not just, and I will have no part in it from this day forward." "Such goodness," said the peacock, "has countless rewards, far beyond gold and riches." The hunter then released the peahen as well, allowing her to stay and become the peacock's mate. The two birds flew high into the tree and looked down at the hunter as he left the beautiful valley. The young hunter returned home, throwing away his bow and arrow to learn the art of pottery. After months of practice, he took up his uncle's pottery trade, and thus he made his living, caring for the needs of his family. Every time he made extra money, he bought captive birds and came back to the beautiful valley to set them free. The peacock and his mate would sometimes come down to salute him and welcome the new birds.
That was a beautiful story, Master. I loved it. But what was the lesson? Was it about being nice to animals?
Certainly. But can you think of another point?
Money is not as valuable as free birds?
Without a doubt. But what else?
Beauty does not matter. Ugliness and beauty deserve the same treatment.
I think you've learned a lot today. You both should go home and try yourselves to practice the lessons given by these animals. There are many more stories to tell. Come back tomorrow.